going? Dan here from You Rock We Drone. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Today I want to give you a quick tutorial on the DJI Mavic Air 2 HELIX Quick Shot mode. What is the HELIX mode? It basically flies around you, increases the radius and increases altitude, epically revealing the area that you're standing in. So first, we're gonna figure out where to access the mode. Second, we're gonna take a look at the different parameters. Third, we're gonna take it into post-production. I'm using Final Cut. You can use whatever you like to make some tweaks to it to make it even look cooler. And lastly, we'll take a few versions, play them back to back so you can figure out which one or how you like to do the HELIX for yourself. Okay, we have the drone up in the air and it's at least 6 feet above the ground. Otherwise, you can't access the quick shot modes at all. Okay, so you access your quick shot modes by pressing your video or photo button on top of your shutter button and then going to quick shot. And today we're gonna do the HELIX. So we press the HELIX and once again we have different options here up to 380 feet, which will look the most dramatic because obviously it will fly the furthest away from you. So then you either click the plus button or you draw a little rectangle around whatever you want your subject to be, and then all you gotta do is press start and it's gonna go off and do the HELIX. So as I mentioned earlier, so what the HELIX does, it kind of flies around you in a circle, and if you haven't seen my tutorial on the circle, there's a link down below in the description so you can see what the circle does. But this one is a little bit more involved because it not only flies around you, but as it flies around you, it increases the radius, like the distance away from you, and it gains altitude. In a way, epically revealing the area that you're standing in. So if you're standing on, I don't know, on the side of a cliff, or like I am here in a pretty neat looking reeds field by the water, whatever this is, then that's the option to pick for sure. Okay, note to self, always do YouTube videos with a fully charged battery. Duh. Okay, anyways, we've got our HELIX shot that we came here for. Let's jump into post-production and see what we can do with it and how we can make it look a little bit more attractive.
Okay, so here we are in Final Cut Pro 10 and I've got a couple of clips on my timeline. The first thing I want to point out is that you can see that the clips are between 45 seconds and 1 minute long, depending on the distance that you choose. Now let's start off with the first clip, and I'm just going to disable the other clips here and zoom in a little bit so that we can just focus on the clip that we're working with. Since these clips are a minute long, as you can see, if I play this here, this is just a little bit too slow, and I also usually like it to start in motion. So what I do usually is to just cut off the first couple of seconds so that when the clip starts, the drone is already fully in motion. Next, what you want to do is press Shift B on your keyboard to start a speed ramp and then go to the end of your clip, like here. Depends on how much you want to show of the end of the clip, maybe up till here, and press Shift B again, and then just go into your middle part and just put in a really high number, maybe 5,000, and you can try different numbers, 5,000, 6,000. And when you play this back, it kind of looks like this. And maybe that's a little bit too long for me at the end. So what you can do here is you can double click and you can edit the source frame, and you can just move this a little bit over to the right. And if we zoom in again, you can see here that you have these little handlebars that you can move to control the speed ramp. So what I really like to do is in the very beginning that it smoothly moves into the speed, and then at the end that it smoothly comes out. Maybe take a little bit more time here to come out of it like that. That looks nice. So let's move on to the next clips here. Zoom out by pressing Command minus, and I'm activating the clips again by pressing V on my keyboard. Now I've got two similar clips, like one where my wife and I are just walking here by the beach, and then another one where we're just standing here on this little jetty. So since they have similar features, what I like to do is to merge them. So once again, start off with this first clip here, take the first couple of seconds and just cut it off so that it starts nice and in motion. I'm gonna do a couple of seconds here and press Shift B again. And we'll spin up to here, do a couple of seconds where we show kind of where we are, and then press Shift B again. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep the first part as is, and then the second part we're gonna speed up to maybe 3000. And then, as I said, we're gonna keep a couple of seconds here showing where we are, and then the last part we're also gonna speed up to 3000. And if we zoom in a little bit, let's see what that looks like. Spinning around, showing where we are, and we're spinning again. Cool. So what we want to do here is maybe also cut off the first part. Zoom out again by pressing Command minus. This is the part where it gets interesting, where you can see all those pretty sailboats. So what you want to do, maybe this point here, press Shift B again, and then speed this first part up. Since this is longer and I want it to be as short as possible, maybe I do 5000 to see what that looks like. And then now when you play both of these back to back, it looks like it merges into the second clip. So we could have gone even further here. Let me move the source frame once again a little bit, like that. Also zoom in, and I might make this even faster, like that, 7000. Maybe I'll make this faster as well, maybe 5. And then when you play this back, it's a little bit choppy because my computer has to think, but I think you get the idea. And now for the last example, let's start off with the second clip here. And the first thing you want to do is click this little speed button here and reverse the clip. So now we have this one in reverse, and then once again here on the first clip we chop off the first couple of seconds just to make sure we're starting in motion. We're pressing Shift B and we're making this a little bit faster up until this point, maybe just 200%, and then we're gonna go crazy into 4000. And then here as well, you're gonna press Shift B again and do 3000. And you can play with these values, just see what feels good. But at some point, if you do this often enough, you got the hang of it, which numbers look good and which ones look too choppy. So let's see what this looks like. And then all of this could be sped up, maybe times 4, and there you have another nice transition going from a standard outward helix into a reversed helix with a nice super speedy, super fast transition. And there you have it. Now you just add a little bit of background music and maybe some sound effects, and then you have a couple of different options to make the Helix a lot more interesting. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you learned something. I hope Helix is your new favorite quick shot mode, because it is pretty cool. And once again, if you found this useful, please give it a thumbs up. It really makes a difference on these YouTube kind of videos and all that. And if you want more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. There's gonna be drone related stuff on the channel every single week. I hope I'll see you next week. Until then, auf Wiedersehen.